I want to talk about symbols, okay? Specifically pride symbols, but also other kinds of symbols that you might see in your daily life. And I have to say, what inspired this was actually I had like one day recently where, in the span of one day, I saw two houses with the progress flag and saw like one person who had a trans pin on their backpack. I only saw them from the back, so I don't know who they were, okay? But this was cool. Anyway, so I think it's very important to be represented. And you might find this very cliche. You might find this even not that needed representation. Like, representation can be done bad and it can be done good. Okay? There can be, like, for example, a trans character in a TV show, but it turns out the trans character is like the most horrible person ever and is like a murderer. And I don't know, kicks puppies or something, okay? And then people will like associate that behavior with a trans person. That's like bad representation, okay? We don't want that, okay? And let's say, okay, there was like 100 cases of good trans representation in media. Then of course you can say, okay, like 5 of those can be bad because trans people are people as well and they can be bad as well, okay? But that's not what happens. We get like one representation in like 500 movies or media pieces, okay? But I'm not really talking about representation in media right now. I'm talking about representation in real life. The grocery store I go to has a little pride flag. You know what? That's cute. That's nice. Do I go more to that store because I have that pride flag? No. I just like the store in general. But every time I go there, I see the little flag. I'm like, yeah, I like those people. I like that flag. I feel seen. That's cute. You support me. Thank you. Okay? So at some point, I was helping out in another library because they were like short-staffed. And I noticed, and I didn't know we were allowed to do that. Honestly, it didn't even cross my mind before, okay? Didn't think about it. It was totally my bad. And they had a little progress flag, like one of those little, like, paper flags on, like, a stick that you can put in a plant. They had that, okay? And I was like, that's so cool. I don't know if any of the people working there is part of the LGBTQI plus community, but they're putting the flag up just for like potential customers seeing that and being like, oh, that's cute, I'm accepted here, I like that. Yeah, that was cool. So I went to my boss like the next day and said, yo, I like that idea. Can we do that as well? And when I did that, I was still not out at work yet, so I don't know what they thought, but like my team is very nice and very progressive, right? So we just put one up. And now basically, whenever you're like at the counter, you're asking us something, you see us, we have a little progress flag and like a flower pot plop behind us, and you can see it, and it's beautiful. As it's there, you feel seen. And I do know from experience that we have multiple people belonging to the LGBTQI plus community, okay? Without like spoiling their lives, basically, I know we have at least like 2 or 3 same-sex couples, and they are very cute. Some of them come there with their children. I had like when you give like people a library card, right? There's like 3 things for like your gender. You can either put like male, female, or diverse. Okay, and it's Germany. Okay, bureaucracy is crazy, so we sadly don't have anything like non-binary. But you can pick diverse. That's nice. That wasn't there a few years ago. And I did have a few cases before where people did that. And every time, of course, I didn't say anything to the people. I didn't want to creep them out, but I was like, oh, you're so cool. Anyway. Anyway, sorry for being told that for a second. I feel a sneeze coming. Wait. Oh, wait for a sneeze with me. Oh man, when you're waiting for a sneeze, that kind of doesn't come, does it? Okay, there's no sneeze. Maybe it will sneak up on us in like a second. So, then one day, I wasn't like really feeling down, but I was exhausted because honestly, my fault again. I like went through 3 days of only like 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night and then like working 10 hours afterwards. And totally my fault. Shouldn't have done that. Anyway, so I was a little bit down. And I noticed, you know, when you're like in public transport and you're looking out the window and you look at the houses, and I suddenly noticed one of the houses was flying a freaking progress flag. Was like, in my city? Ah, that's so cool! And then, like a few streets further, I was still in the bus. There was a second one. And guess what? Maybe it even was a person living in one of those houses. Bus door opened. A person came inside. A person turned. And on their backpack, there was multiple pins. And one of those pins was a beautiful butterfly And that butterfly was colored in the trans colors. If you are part of the trans community, you know that is a trans pin, okay? Nobody like designed that and was like, that's cool colors. And 100% was the trans pin. So I don't know if that person is trans or if they are like an ally or they support somebody in their life. I don't care. I was like, that's a nice pin. I like that. And then, of course, I went to work and I saw our little pride flag there as well. And I love that as well. So representation is important. And I know it's very hard to put representation up in some parts of the world because maybe you're like persecuted, maybe you have like hateful people around you, and obviously your own safety is paramount. In the last video I was all about corroded, but like paramount is like an amazing word as well, okay? Your own safety is paramount. You should never like jeopardize it. I'm using a lot of eloquent words today, aren't I? So if you can represent parts of the LGBTI plus community in some way, okay? Some people do that by openly like living as trans persons, right? Some people like to go stealth, and honestly, when I'm out in public, I am as well, okay? Because I want to be safe, okay? That's just how it is. But like, I have rainbow shoes. I like rainbow shoes, and if people ask me, that's cute rainbow shoes, okay? And if the other person has signs of being queer, maybe I would tell them, okay? But like, obviously, it's nobody's business. But I love my rainbow shoes, so I have my rainbow shoes, okay? So maybe it's like a pin, right? Maybe I did saw a non-binary pin recently as well. And then, of course, you can have the pins, you can have little like flags, you can have like colors with that. Multiple people actually come to our library like every week that have like pride colors like bags to carry books in. That's beautiful, okay? That's like a small thing as well. And it's not like really on the nose because it's literally just a rainbow colored bag. And guess what? For an event, for the last Christopher Street Day here in Germany, we did like a little giveaway of like items that were like rainbow color. And guess what? Kids love these things because guess what? They're colorful. They're rainbow color. Rainbows are cool. Honestly, rainbows are cool. Even without like the meaning behind it, rainbows are always cool and pretty gay, I think. Okay, the leprechaun, the leprechaun, the green little people that hide the gold. Tell me that's not like the gayest thing you've ever seen, and I'll mean that in like the most loving way possible, okay? I love these little guys. So maybe you can put up a pin, okay? Maybe if you really feel safe, you can hang like a flag from your house, okay? Maybe the trans flag, maybe the progress flag, maybe the pride flag, okay? And listen, never shame another person, even ally or part of the LGBTQI plus community, for not representing something or not representing something in the way you want to, okay? Maybe they don't feel safe, and that's okay. Maybe they like the normal pride flag, rainbow color flag more than a progressive flag, okay? With like the trans colors and the non-binary colors as well, right? That's okay. They don't have to do that, okay? They don't have to. You can do what you want. In reality, you have free will. Guess what? After work yesterday, I didn't go to the public transport as usual and go home. Guess what? I went to a freaking ice shop, bought a portion of freaking strawberry ice cream, sat my ass down in the sun, and ate ice cream. And then I went home. Exercise your free will to make your life and the life of other people better. Okay, that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. That's all she said.